This is called as time blocking method. Time blocking. What is time blocking? The most important things we do in our day. So from 6 to 7, what are your plans? From 7 to 8, what are your plans? Like this, if you chart out your day, right? Then if you fill out, let's say, most important activities. Dinner. Okay, like I fill out the most important activities. From 8:30 to 9:30, breakfast. For me, like generally speaking. After that, I have time. If I wake up at 6, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing till 11? This is called as time blocking. Normally, we mistake action for progress. Normally, we mistake action for progress. What is the difference? But as I told you yesterday, before we realize September, today is September, right? Before we realize June will be here. So till there, what we have actually done is action, but not progress. Yes or no? Because if we don't invest in, let's say, NCERTs or previous year questions, right? Or question and answer learning, what will happen? We consider action as progress, but if you write question and answers, we will think it as, or we will consider it as progress. I will tell you a simple example. Modern Indian history syllabus is done. Classes have been completed. So those who haven't attended, you can watch the recording sessions or something. Now, the simple problem is, what are the reasons for failure of 1857 war? Okay, in the crowd, blah blah blah, you will shout like, oh, that's this chapatis failed. Okay, but if I give a pen and paper and ask you to write a 10 marker question, how many of you will convert that knowledge into intro, body, conclusion? This is deliberate practice. This is progress. Just reading it is action. Action is not equal to scores. Yes or no? All of you completed modern Indian history. The most easiest and first chapter is 1857. It doesn't matter whether you read Spectrum or Bipin Chandra, both of them have first chapter as 1857 war. And if you see previous papers from 1857 to 1947, the most important area in entire modern Indian history. If a question comes, probably it will come from this area, both in prelims and mains. So my simple question is this: how many of you can write that answer? What are the reasons for failure of 1857 war? Right? I mean, why not? Why not? But see, again, what did I tell you? Answer writing is your thought process. If you have it here, only then you can produce on the paper. Let's say you may not write it in 10 minutes. If I give you 25 minutes, will you be able to write? See, I'm just poking holes in your theory that I don't have sufficient practice for answer writing. In your school, you have written answer writing. Yes. When we are in school, we never bothered about, monthly test, quarterly test, half yearly test. Yes or no? So we used to go and write. Did you ever practice answer writing in schools? No. But we wrote quarterly exams or half yearly or even annual exams. Where did that speed and time management come from? See, I mean, whatever you learn, you are trying to put it on the paper. It's not like I'm trying to do something in the school exam. In the same way, UPSC also, all you do is small changes of presentation, but the macro theming is same. Yes or no? See, one more disadvantage or advantage in school is, like, if you learn that story, for example, Aavu Puli Katha, that means, what is that? Cow and a tiger story. The cow will go for grazing, a tiger will catch it, then the cow will say, I have a calf there, I will go and give the milk and I will come back. And the cow actually comes back to as a sacrifice, then the tiger will let it go. So this is a story we learn in the school. If the question comes in, tell the story from the tiger's perspective. We will start from like starting only. It doesn't matter what question is asked, we will still write what we know. Yes or no? The entire story is reproduced. In the same way, in UPSC, it doesn't work. So that is the only problem. You need to tailor suit the requirement of answer to the question. But while you are reading Bipin Chandra or Spectrum, right? If you can distill the entire chapter into 10 points, 1857 revolt, background, why or what are the seeds for 1857 revolt? 1, 2, 3 points. What are the most important seeds? Religious divisions, peasant failure. Most of the soldiers are from peasant families. So the policies of Britishers. Like this, I will have three major points. Then what are the reasons for provocation? Everybody had their own vested interest. See, 1857, though is the first war of independence. Okay, nobody actually fought for India. Everybody had their own interest. She will tell us. What are the interests of everyone?
Rani Lakshmi Bai. She wanted to.
One word. Rani Lakshmi Bai and Doctrine of Lapse.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next.
Bahadur Shah for Mughals throne.
Okay. Declining Mughal power. Bahadur Shah declining Mughal power. Right. Then Nana Sahib.
Nana Sahib actually to become the Peshwa.
Peasants. See, peasants. Who in which sense? That is the background story, right? That laid the seeds for the revolution. See, you understand the concept, right? Just think of having a one-page notes. Just think of having a one-page notes. What is the side heading saying? Background, 3 bullet points. Then reasons for 1857 revolt. Then failure or suppression of 1857 revolt. What are the major differences? Communication technology, trained army, yes, lack of unity, lack of communication, so lack of planning, lack of leadership. Sir, no, they appointed Bahadur Shah, a dummy, right? So, and he was hardly having any problem. Even after the 1857 revolt, he was not beheaded. He was happily sent to Rangoon. So, the leadership will always be safe. So, like this, if I have a like 10 points, okay, then the questions. For example, what are the reasons for failure? So, when I read that particular chapter, the chapter itself, I'm not reading the rest of the story. I'm trying to remember only the most important points. Yes or no? Rani Lakshmi Bai. I don't need to remember that, the only men among the rebels, all this drama. Yes or no? That is all mentioned in the Bipin Chandra, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Doctrine of Lapse. Yes or no? That will be more than enough for you to get the good score. The moment you write Rani Lakshmi Bai and Doctrine of Lapse and underline it, the examiner will know what is 1857. But if you don't know what is Doctrine of Lapse, if you don't even mention that word there, yes or no, he knows or he thinks that you are having superficial knowledge. So you may not remember everything that happened in 1857 line by line. They sent secret messages in chapati. Yes, Bahadur Shah sneezed 3 times. Okay, we don't need all that data. All I need is for the examiner to believe that you know something important. Yes or no? Your notes is ready. Next time when you read 1857, it will take you 5 minutes. Okay, but we make it very, very difficult or confusing. Yes or no? Then if a question comes, first war 1857 is neither a first war in independence nor something else. There is a quote by Savarkar or someone, right? Okay, when you see that quote, you will write how? You will write it in bullet points or the entire kahani? Bullet points. Intro. See, according to the context. Yes, isn't it very simple? You got the idea, right? So you are making your life easy through how? By asking yourself more questions. The more questions you ask, the easier your preparation will be. Yes or no? So spend your time on progress rather than on action. Because see, this is a crucial time. September, October, November, December, probably January. These are the only 4 months where you'll get time to read your GS, either in mains perspective or in NCERT perspective or holistic way. After, let's say, Feb 15th, okay, once you have celebrated Valentine's Day and all those things, okay, you can totally convert into prelims preparation. Then you will focus on nuts and bolts. What are nuts and bolts? The macro theory that I told you, like doctrine of labs. Then the question will be, prelims questions will be like, who introduced the doctrine of labs? Where? The areas, the regions, doctrine of labs was introduced. So from Feb to June, you will be focusing on the nuts and bolts. Okay, but from September to February, you will be focusing on the macro themes. So macro theme note making or 5 months is invested on that particular area. That is your progress. Once, see, prelims is a subset of mains. If you prepare for mains, your prelims is 90% already covered. Okay, then you will focus on the nuts and bolts, but not the other way around. If you focus on nuts and bolts, you cannot complete the macro themes. And by doing 100 questions in modern Indian history, you are done with modern Indian history. By doing 30-35 questions for society, you are done with society. Yes or no? By reading 1 or 2 books for ethics, you are done for ethics. So like this, the next 4-5 months will be used for macro setting. But each and every day has to accumulate. Normally what happens? One day we come to the class, next 3 days break, 4th day again I will show up. What will happen? Is this consistency? So on a daily basis, you are not seeing any progress. But if I chart it out like this, your graph should be like this. But in reality, your graph will be, you don't even know where you are going, because day by day basis we are counting, right? What is our benchmark? There is no benchmark. Do you have an objective measurement criteria? No. So that is why I'm telling you, by Feb 15th, if you can complete, let's say 350 questions or 400 questions on all the 4 GS papers, you will have something called as progress. If you blindly follow something, okay sir, I'm preparing for UPSC, I'm showing up daily, so what? That is action. I told you very simple example from your own life. 1 month ago or 15 days ago, modern Indian history is completed. Yes or no? You're not able to recollect everything. Why? The perspective change is very, very important. Understood? So daily you show up, you don't show up, you're reading NCRTs, still I'm okay with it. Because if you're completing all the right boxes one day, completing all the 400 questions, you're definitely progressing. So yesterday Aditya was asking, right, sir, what is the essential? What is the bare minimum thing that we are supposed to do? These are all the bare minimum things you are supposed to do. Yes? Clear? Any confusion? So please never mistake action for progress. Action is action, progress is progress. Anything. You can frame your own question. What are the reasons for, or what is the significance of civil disobedience movement? What is the significance? What is the significance of civil disobedience movement? What is the first keyword that should come to your mind? SALT. Started the journey. When I say civil disobedience, sorry. Who gave do or die? When? Quit India movement. Then SALT. How is SALT? Chauri Chaura is related to non-cooperation movement. Like this, the moment you see a particular thing, if you are able to recollect important keywords, then what will happen? You can fill in the context. Yes or no? Become prelims also. Or a question will come. What are the reasons for creation of revolutionary movement in Indian independence? Again, you will go back to Chauri Chaura. Yes or no? Without Chauri Chaura, the revolutionary movement wouldn't have happened. Why? Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement that angered the youth who heavily believed in Gandhi. Then they took up the arms. Everything is correlated. Non-cooperation movement and the consequences. It's like a But unless and until you are not asking questions to yourself, you are reading them in silos. A, B, C, D. Silo system doesn't work. So first set the macro setting through questions. You are reading economy, right? Or polity, basic polity has happened. What is difference between rule of law and rule of law and rule of law and what is the follow-up term? What are the two fundamental rights related to Article 14? Rule of law and equal protection before the law. So when you read Lakshmikant, all of you have Lakshmikant, when you open the fundamental rights chapter, you will find Article 14 and one is here, one is here. What are they? Rule of law and equality before law. What is the difference? Yesterday when I was asking you basic schedules, none of you could recollect how many schedules are there? Yes or no? Yes. Total how many schedules are there in Constitution? You. Yeah. You only. What are they? Very difficult. Okay. What do you know? Out of the 12, how many do you know? No. See, it's not about judgmental, right? You are not supposed to know that on day one. But on, let's say, June 24th, exam is on June 25th. You should know. So till June 24th, you have time. That doesn't mean you have to postpone till June 24th. Yes. Aditya will tell us some of the schedules he knows. There is only one Aditya in the room, right? Sorry? Yesterday we learned some in the class. At least two schedules. Class. 9th schedule. Okay. 9th schedule is related to? Okay. There is a schedule related to languages. That much you know. That's a progress. Yes or no? But it is 8th schedule. 8th schedule is related to languages. 7th schedule is related to separation of powers, but not in the technical term. Here we are just bifurcating union powers, state powers, and concurrent list. Concurrent list means both of them can make laws. Okay, like this. 6th schedule and 5th schedule. What are they related to? Asymmetrical federalism. That topic also get discussed. 5th and 6th schedules. 4th schedule is related to Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. See, the thing that happened here is, unless and until you are forced to face a question, we won't allocate importance to that particular topic. Yes or no? See, we normally read topics just like that, but we have to face more questions. The more the questions you face, the more your recollection will be clear. So please focus time equally on facing questions. There is no judgment. Even if you don't know today on day one, okay, even I don't know all the questions. If I don't revise polity, even I will forget. It happens to everyone, human beings. To err is human, but not to recover is a blunder. Okay, so please take time, maintain a small pocket diary. Whenever you don't know something, write it down. Go home, Google it, read it from Wikipedia. There is no bar that you should not read from Wikipedia. Okay, if you don't know list, open Lakshmikant. If you don't know a source of a particular thing, just message me. Sir, where do I find this? Global warming potential. Yesterday I was saying something about global warming potential. You don't know where to find. I will tell you. Oh, please buy Shankar book. In Shankar, under air pollution, they have clearly mentioned global warming potential. If you read that particular book, all of your graduates, % of the things will be in your brain. Common sense, right? Air pollution, air will be polluted. What are the different kind of gases? Reading that chapter will take 15 to 30 minutes. But foundation has been, what is air pollution and what is the boundary? That is progress. Yes or no? Unless and until you start questioning yourselves, it's going to be very, very difficult. See, you might not understand it today, but if you see the screen, this is mains paper from 2020. This is mains paper from 2020. This is GS paper 3. Just see the type of questions that are coming and how many of you have at least heard about the terms. Explain the intragenerational, intergenerational issues of equity from the perspective of inclusive growth and sustainable development. Inclusive growth you might have heard about. It is related to poverty, lack of access to resources, then sustainable development. Yes, and you can take any material in India in last 1 year, you won't find the answer to this question as it is. Why? We know inclusive growth, we know sustainable development, but we don't know intergenerational issues or intragenerational issues. But I will tell you small terms. For example, digital divide. This you might have heard about so many times. In Corona, during COVID times, rural children are not having smartphones. Intragenerational. Within a generation, some kids are able to watch online classes, yes or no? And some don't have any access. That will lead to anything but inclusive growth. Yes or no? It is not including everyone in the society. Yes. If you have smartphone, you can go for UPI payment and all those things. In the lockdown also, everything was delivered to your home. But if you don't have smartphone, if you don't have savings, won't that lead to intragenerational inequalities? Poverty increased in COVID or decreased in COVID? Increased in COVID. No common sense, right? No. But the thing separately, but in the exam hall you have to combine. Only when you have that thought process, life will be very easy. But you have to question yourself more. Whenever you see a term called as poverty, don't you think it's a discrimination towards someone? Yes. Yes or no? Okay. This much I think even you should be able to attempt once your basic economy classes are done. Define potential GDP. Actually, sorry, this is economic survey article. Forget about it. Yes. The other day there was an article in Hindu. What is that article? Exports. India's export basket is diversifying. What are the topics we have discussed? I did ask you, is the food processing industry is there in the syllabus copy? All of you read, yes sir. What are the key terms associated with the food processing industry? One of the term is supply chain. So what is this question about? Transport and marketing of agricultural produce in India. So it is nothing but supply chain issues. So if you don't know the syllabus copy, you will be ignoring that article. If you ignore that article, do you think you could have answered this question? Yes or no? See, even the most basic beginners should be able to attempt at least 50% of the paper. But the only thing is focus. Are we focusing in the right places? See, this is purely an example to show supply chain. The syllabus line is converted into a different format. Constraint in transport, marketing in agricultural produce. Yes or no? The next one, all of you know. Same question, similar article. Okay. Again, my intention here is to tell you, even you can frame these questions. When you read a newspaper article, you should be able to frame this question. What is the outcome of this article? Yesterday, we have seen Suhrit Parthasarathy criticizing Supreme Court of India. What is the main question there? Supreme Court needs to uphold transparency and accountability. It should, what are the steps that should be taken by Supreme Court? Or else, what are the issues with the collegium system? When you frame questions by your own, on your own, you will look at the article from answer perspective. You must have done comprehension, right? Either in entrance exams or somewhere. What do you comprehensions do? You read a paragraph, then you go through some questions. What will happen? Again, you will come to the article just to find those lines. Yes or no? In the same way, if you read an article and frame questions, you will look at that article in a whole different perspective. What are the issues of collegium system? You can find 4 or 5 points.
What the guest wants, like the family members want the.
Exactly. In the same way, your family is UPSC. Yes or no? So you have to make friends with UPSC. The more time you spend with questions and analyzing them, you will understand he's not asking rocket science. Yes or no? He's not asking something that is out of even a fresh, like a new aspirant like you who started preparation 2 months ago are able to identify the topics. In spite of that, the cutoff is only 50%. You can understand the difficulty of the competition and the complexity of this exam. You know food processing, but your answer should be such in such a way that you not even the most score. You should get around 6 marks per 10 marks. They won't give you 6 marks. Hardly they will give you 3, 3.5, 4. Why? Everybody will write the same content. You will be bored. Even then, you have to impress the examiner. That is where the trick lies. So clarity of thought will give you the best. Here. If you see the 9th question, discuss the different types of cyber crimes and measures to be taken to fight the menace. Very common question, right? You don't even have to prepare for UPSC. The most common question is cyber crimes. What are the different types of cyber crimes?
Data harassment.
Harassment. Okay. So, if you think in a chronological fashion, cyber crimes can be war, espionage, terrorism, and crimes. Espionage is what? Spying on a different country. Terrorism, all of you know. War, cyber wars, threatening the critical infrastructure of a nation. Then crimes. Within crimes, you have sexual harassment, data theft. Yes or no? Identity theft. Yes. Stealing. Like within cyber crimes, there are so many layers of crimes and examples. Malware, ransomware. Yes, spyware is espionage. Pegasus. So Pegasus as an example. So all these things you have heard in from newspapers only. You don't have to struggle a lot. Yes. Then you have to find the measures required. So that is a 150 word mark answer. But when you read an article, let's say somebody has or some company was hacked in India or Infosys is hacked, we read and ignore it. But if you know that there is such a question, what will you do? Automatically you will think, okay, that day there was a question in UPSC which says what are cyber crimes? Okay, this is a cyber crime. Then you will read one more article in Hindu which says due to cyber crimes around $20 billion loss is happening to the economy. Why? Company will stop functioning for a few days. So cyber crimes will also lead to economic losses. Yes. Then the solutions. What did RBI do? RBI has introduced the compulsory OTP, re-verification of all your debit cards. All these are measures by RBI to reduce financial frauds because India is India is having a lot of illiteracy, especially cyber illiteracy is huge. Is or no? Somebody will call. I am calling from SBI. People will panic. Why will SBI call you? Even when we call, they don't answer. Yes or no? I mean, I don't know your experience with SPA, but my experience is very bad. Okay, again, I'm not stereotyping. So you understand the logic, right? So cyber crimes, everything you read will have some linkage to UPSC, but you won't remember that day. But when you collect all the garlands, see all the flowers, think of it like this: cyber crimes. Yes or no? Cyber crimes is a thread. For 1 year, you read cyber crimes, Pegasus, Infosys being hacked, some other company ransomware, malware, so on and so forth. Just imagine the thread is cyberware. All the circles are flowers. Your garland is complete. All you have to do is put it on UPSC. It will be very happy, ego satisfied. Yes or no? But if you don't read on a daily basis, or if you are not focused enough, what will happen? You don't know whether to focus on a particular article. Yes or no? Yes.
So, the previous question that I took, how the marks distribution will be done on, like, discuss different types of cyber crimes and measures.
Huh.
So both will have 50% type or
No.
will have 3 marks and 7 marks.
Intro, types, right? Measures, then conclusion. Okay. The maximum marks you are supposed to get is 5. Okay. The maximum marks you are supposed to get is 5. For example, the head examiner will come. He will look at a model answer. He will say, this is one of the best answers I have read. For this, I am giving 5.5 or 6 marks. That means no matter how good your answer is, the maximum score you are going to get is 6. So probability will be like, for types 2 marks, measures 2 marks, right? Or 2.5, half mark, half mark. Okay. So if you write the best introduction, they will give you half mark on par with the best. If your introduction is okay, like formality, cyber crimes is cyber crime, whatever happens in internet is cyber crime, such typical cliche answers, they will give you, if it is supposed to get half mark, they won't even give you that much. You get the idea, right? So already somebody's copy will be kept as a benchmark in comparison to his or her answer. How good is your answer? So the core area is types and measures. 2.5 definitely will be given to that. Yes, clear? Or 2 marks. Normally students get 4 marks. 5 is considered as very good. If you get 5 marks for all the 20 questions, I mean, averagely speaking, you'll get 100. 100 is a very good score in GS papers. If you score 400 in all the 4 GS papers, you have done extraordinarily well. In is the average score. Clear?
Measures required means all. Can we discuss the measures that are we have to suggest? There are some very
Out of
like, these are the measures are to be incorporated, but they do not exist in reality and they take a lot of time to be implemented. Which steps are better to be mentioned for this answer?
okay. There are 2 ways to look at the things. First is there is always scope for improvement. The Dhoni's doctrine. Yes or no? Dhoni will say this. There is always scope for improvement. That means existing measures can be implemented in a even better fashion. Okay. Then out of box solutions. Way forward. Something which is not being implemented, that you have to implement. See, 10th question. How many of you remember me discussing the similar topic in the class? Read the 10th question. Yes. In which context did I discuss that?
Sir, during the great story of internet shutdowns in India.
You said you told about the radicalization of the youth.
When internet is
happening in
closed,
Kashmir.
they don't have this pressure. They have to release this pressure.
No,
Family
not that.
support is required when they were talking to the.
I discussed it in the context of Naxalism. I told Naxalism, radicalization, terrorism, all these things exist only because of the local support. Same diagram. I'm not Picasso, right? No, my drawing is bad. So every time I put the same diagram. Only when the locals are supporting the militants or Naxals or radicals, they can survive. The moment I cut the support of the locals, then automatically the tree will die. Yes or no? So that is why local support has to be taken. So how is this in the news recently? In Jammu and Kashmir, in Hindu, there was an article. Jammu and Kashmir police, military and police officers are bringing the families together. Yes or no? To have a discussion. Yes. So a police officer has died. A lot of support came for that police officer. In that article also I have discussed the same point. Manage local perception and local support to militants. 2 articles from last 1 month in Hindu could be used in this article. Yes or no? When that police officer died, local support came for police, not for the militant. Yes or no? During peacetime, winning hearts and minds. That also has been discussed. So you can write a 10-mark question in mains even with those 2 articles. See, if this, then that, and not a big deal to fill. You'll write an introduction. Why local support is very important for reducing terrorism. Then you'll put side headings. Example, in Jammu and Kashmir, army and military are doing these things. In Kerala also, community help is being taken to reduce radicalization. Today's Hindu also, there is an article which says the radicalization or ISIS outfits are still existing in Kerala. So we can take the local community help to reduce the radicalization. Local support is key, but you need to know that this question exists to appreciate the beauty of those articles. Clear? Or the entire concept of the roots and tree. Why roots are very important for the survival of the tree. Without local support, militant cannot even move. Yes or no? See this simple question. Simplicity. The beauty of UPSC is simplicity. 13th question. What is 13th question talking about?
Rice food system success.
So technically he is asking about, yes or no? What is MSP doing? MSP is giving all the weightage to rice and wheat. So recently what did we discuss? Government has reduced the MSP to Rabi crops and increase it to pulses. Okay. So rice wheat system is a water wastage system. Water use efficiency is low. And we are also using huge amount of fertilizers. Groundwater depletion is happening. Punjab, we have seen, right? Lot of water is exploited, groundwater. Fertilizers use has increased, but MSP is also increasing. All these are inefficient for the country. So in spite of the success, this has become a bane. Bane means a punishment for India. Why punishment? Water wastage, fertilizers, lot of subsidies, soil degradation. Farmers are not making remunerative. And agriculture income of a normal farmer is not increasing. So you can combine all these things and you can write the solutions. Here is where you write the solutions. You remember yesterday he asked us whether we should write the solutions or not. What did I tell you? This is a 15-marker question. Even if he doesn't ask us solutions, we will write what is the way forward, or what are the suggestions. Here suggestions is more applicable than way forward. The difference between way forward and suggestion is to notice something that government is already doing. Way forward is to tell government what to do. If government is we cannot call it as way forward. Why?
Because
already it is being implemented. So suggestions, better implementation of the farmers bills. APMC reforms, diversification of crops. All these things government is already doing. Yes or no? So was it that difficult? No. But perception management.
Other person,
Yes.
some other UPSC aspirant writes a way forward that is very innovative and exceptional, then he'll be awarded more marks.
It's very difficult to beat you, because by the time you write your mains, okay, both of you will be reading same books, same sources, same everything. Hardly 1 or 2 points will be added, and most of the times they are also being implemented by the government. It's very difficult to see. For example, if I'm district collector, I will abolish MSP. I cannot write that as a way forward. Why? I'm a collector. I'm just a tool. Abolishing MSP is not even in my hands. So then writing that innovative point is totally useless, right? You understand the idea. So way forward is very difficult to come up with limitations. You understand the concept, right? So examiner will not give marks for something unique. Examiner will marks for telling the things that government is doing in context. I will tell you the problem. When I told you suggestions, right? If you are supposed to write 6 suggestions which government is implementing, majority of the aspirants will write 3 or 4 only. We cannot recollect everything in that moment. But if you can write all the 6, then you are going to get better scores than the rest. Okay. The same with problems. Why it has become a bane? I told you groundwater, fertilizers, MSP. I am revolving only around 3 points. I am unable to recollect 2 or 3 more points. Okay. If I can write 6 problems and 6 solutions, I am much better than 99.9% of the aspirants. The problem in UPSC is not new points. The problem in UPSC is reproducing existing points. Think about it. You will read 150 topics for GS paper 3 alone, 150 points for GS paper 2, and you have to remember 10 points for all the topics. So it's not humanly possible to remember everything about everything. Clear?
Was mentioned. In that question, why it has turned into a bane, can be
Use it. Yeah, you can quote such words. This you can understand. 17th question. What are the key features of National Clean Air Program? Yesterday, we have seen air pollution. So National Clean Air Program. In the same way, sixteenth question. Think about 16th question.
National Solar Alliance.
So many times we have discussed about INDC targets. One of the targets in INDC is to reduce or to produce 40% of energy from non-fossil fuels, so renewable energy, right? Then why deriving electricity from the sun? Solar energy is better. And what are the initiatives offered by India? International Solar Alliance. Yes, and so many solar plants are being set up in the country. The concept is, whether you know the points or not, the concept is it something that you are seeing daily on the newspapers in one way or the other? At least weekly, twice you will hear about solar energy, renewable energies, energy mix. So he is not asking something, which a normal man won't know. But the problem is, in spite of knowing all these things, students are unable to score better marks. Why? That should be your core thought process. Summarization or consolidation of the syllabus is my argument. See, vastness is default. I need to know solar energy, I need to know wind energy, I need to know every point. But the problem is consolidation. The moment I ask you about solar energy, you should be able to tell a fact. This is the percentage of solar energy in the country as of now. Okay, then you need to know INDC targets.
PM Kusum.
PM Kusum. Okay, you need to know some schemes. You need to know some initiatives. Yes, you need to also know about the problems. So that's a template in your mind, just like the 1857 revolt question. If you have a template, solar energy, a fact, a data, advantages, steps taken, and initiatives. Only keywords. PM Kusum. Okay, or International Solar Alliance. The moment I see that word, I should be able to understand the rest of the story. Yes or no? PLI scheme, product linked incentive schemes for renewable energy. So all these things will promote the government. So consolidation of content is more powerful rather than mere reading. See, what is the point of reading when you don't consolidate and revise it? Yes, and you can do it by keyword basis. Take any popular like topper answer. The focus will be on keywords. Yes or no? The moment I say keywords, automatically answers will become better. INDC targets. The moment I write INDC, examiner will know this person actually understands the context of solar energy.
So they did not mention the targets. Just
INDC itself will tell the examiner you are good. But with practice, if your speed and thought process are same, like how quickly I think and how quickly I write are same, then you can probably quote data also. See, INDC will definitely get you 5.
Because whenever we read an article, then provide consent of information about INDC, the targets and all. What
just mention the term, but in exam you have a human limitation, right? You have to see again, you have to write all the 20 questions equally. You cannot give step motherly treatment to some questions. Yes or no? So automatically all the 20 has to be equally treated, means you will sacrifice some basic points. But if the question is saying what are the India's INDC targets and importance of solar energy, then you have to mention the fact. Yes or no?
PSL lending for energy sector.
Sorry?
PSL lending.
Okay.
As a government measure.
To promote, yeah, you can write. But again, I think it's 7th or 8th point in the hierarchy. It's one of the last points, right? Because priority sector lending is just a policy change. So under side heading of policy, if you have time, you can throw it. Right? You get the idea? GS paper 2. See the question number 3.
Question number 3, can we talk about GST?
Under competition, cooperation, or confrontation?
Confrontations, when they were denying the dues.
I will also write it under cooperation, right?
State and local.
See, GST is the best example for cooperative federalism. Confrontation also, you can say the fiscal federalism. Rather than GST council, you can mention fiscal federalism, because apart from GST, states are also having a lot of issues with the state government. And today in Hindu, there is an article which says PM Cares Fund is not under RTI. You cannot write that point in this particular answer, irrelevant. But my intention is Right to Information Act is in the news. So next year a question might be like this: what are the recent issues faced by Right to Information Act in this country? Yes or no? Then you will use a particular article which says PM Care is not being brought under RTI. Accountability and transparency is the most important thing in a democracy. If a fund like PM Cares Fund, PM is caring, and I don't know where he is caring, then what is the meaning of accountability and transparency? And see, they don't have anything to hide. It's an unnecessary drama, right? It's not like Prime Minister has taken that money and given to Ambani or Adani. He has definitely used it for some good purpose. So what do you have to hide? Apart from creating an unnecessary drama, you are not doing any service to the democracy. So questions can be like this. Assam and Mizoram are fighting. Yes. So federalism is not only center and state, right? It's vertical and horizontal as well. Center and state relations are equally important. State and state relations are also federalism. So we can bring in cooperation, competition, and confrontation. Cooperation, GST Council. Yes, passing of reservation bills. All these are cooperation. Then competition. Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh are fighting in better way. For example, Gujarat is doing very well in ease of doing business index. So Uttar Pradesh will also try to do better in ease of doing business. So competition can be created in a different ways. But also you can say water, competition for water, Godavari, Krishna issues. So whatever you see in the newspapers, you can use them in. See, it's a 10 marker, right? You won't have the luxury. You will basically use what is the context of the federation. After 74 years of independence, India is having a lot of activity in relation to federalistic principles. Okay, then you'll directly put a heading: cooperation, 1-2 points; competition, 1-2 points; confrontation, 1-2 points; or writing speed, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3. Then a conclusion. Irrespective of whatever skirmishes we have in the name of federalism, India is a indivisible nation of indestructible nation, or something like that, and you are done. But the 3 points under each side heading comes from your current affairs preparation. Yes or no?
So, but this is fine. But initially, the thought that flashed in my mind shaped the nature of India.
Shaped, I am taking a box. Box is strong. Whether a competition only making India stronger. For example, to center and state are fighting in GST and other revenue things. Fiscal federalism. The long-term solution is reforms. Yes or no? When states grow, India grow. When nations grow, more money will be given to states. Yes or no? So whatever I do, the box is shaping the nature, that is making India stronger. So that's my frame.
Can we include this the article 370 confrontation also?
You can. It made only India stronger, right? Yes or no? Now Pakistan cannot cry about Kashmir ever. We close out the door once and for all.
So in the competition, can they put this idea of finance commissions in the devolution of finance? It has added your tax efforts.
That will promote cooperative federalism, right? Competitive federalism is also a very important thing. See, all indexes like living index, ease of doing business index, or sustainable development index, or finance commission's tax devolution index. I mean tax. Yes. So yeah, you understand, right? Even if you do the bare minimum things, you are better than 99% of the aspirants. I can guarantee you. See, I have access to so many students from all over the country, right? From Jammu and Kashmir all the way till Tamil Nadu, not Kanyakumari. Yes. Okay. So from Jammu and Kashmir to Tamil Nadu, I have students from all over the country through my Telegram channel or mail or my mentorship program or whatever. I know how students are thinking in each and every perspective. Instead of reading the book, they are willing to watch a video for 3 more times. No matter how many times I convince them, they're still believing that, that is easy. Easy is not simple. Yes or no? What is the problem with opening Lakshmikant? Why do you need a summary for Lakshmikant? Right? If you actually open and read Lakshmikant line by line, I can guaranteely tell you in 2022, you are better than 99% of the aspirants. Nobody will actually read the entire Lakshmikant. That is your edge. Yesterday I told you, right? Read 8 books. Read 8 books in such a way. If a question comes from Lakshmikant, you should not get it wrong. Cost benefit ratio. Reading a 300-page book and getting 20 out of 20 is life changing in UPSC rather than reading 1000 pages and getting only 4 questions. Which is more commonsensical? Reading the 8 books. Lakshmikant, Ramesh Singh, Spectrum, NCRTs, Geography NCRT. Like this, every subject have one compulsory must read book. If you read them line by line, almost all the questions that came from 2010 to 2020 in prelims came from these sources only. And you can get it correctly. Yes. What is the problem? This. They don't understand the simple instruction. Human mind, right? I need masala. Yes or no? My mummy will say, I made upma. What upma, what idli, what dosa. But the same if you go to a hotel, okay, he will throw in 4 more chutneys. The same idli. Idli did not change. Our perception towards idli has changed. Yes or no? So the same way, again, I'm showing you for this first. I'm telling you all these things because you may not believe me. But have you seen a new word that you haven't heard? In 1 month of preparation, if you identify so many questions, after 6 months of preparation, don't you think you will be in a much better position? But the problem is instruction. Read NCRT, read Lakshmikant, you'll attempt all questions. Okay, so that is the problem. Are we clear? So do the essentials. I can guarantee you, I'm not guaranteeing you service. Till interview, it's humanly possible for everyone. Irrespective of what you did, even till today, even if you, from today onwards, if you focus on the essential things, you will definitely get an interview call. But the problem is essential, focus, sit and read. Let's say you take Spectrum, 1857 to 1947. If you perfect these chapters, like 4 or 5 chapters in Spectrum perfectly, okay, you have a higher chance of clearing both prelims and mains using modern Indian history. If a question comes, it should come from these areas. Okay. Motilal Nehru, right? And X started a new party. What is X? What is the new party name? You think on your own, right? You must have read or seen this in the Spectrum, but you did not know that was important. But go through the prelims papers, you will find a similar question. Then automatically come back and read modern Indian history. What will happen? Your attention span will increase. Your respect towards Motilal will increase. C.R. Das will increase. Swaraj Party or Swatantra Party?
Swaraj.
Swaraj Party will increase. What is Swatantra Party? Who created Swatantra Party? Swaraj Party, C.R. Das and Motilal Nehru. C. Rajagopalachari created Swatantra parties. Similar sounding words can be clarified. Yes or no? You'll remember more. Yes. For example, lastly, this 19th question. UPSC is visionary. Nineteenth and 20th question, both. This was in news in 2020 October, November. Okay, in January 2021, this year January, this question paper was set. In September 2021, we are still reading the same topics. So current affairs is circular. The topics keep coming back again and again. So did anything change? The importance of Indo-Pacific region is still here. The quadrilateral is still here. Yesterday I made you write an answer between AUKUS and Quad. Okay, here you are finding Quad, tomorrow you'll find AUKUS here. Yes or no? So he is not asking you some rocket science. I have showed you paper 3 and I have showed you paper 2 also. In both the papers, not a single term is from alien sources. Every day, staring in our eyes. But how many of us have a single page notes for Quad? At least in the mind, not in the paper. My perspective is Quad. What is Quad? What are the 4 nations? What are the advantages of Quad to India? Close your eyes and think. If you have that structure in your mind, not on paper, still you will do much better than 90% of the aspirants. You will have a high chance to get interview call. Structure in mind. Quad. What is Quad? What is AUKUS? What is Quad? The difference between AUKUS and Quad. Military, yes. Non-military, most. See, the question is, Quad is moving from, transforming into a trade block away from military block. Most people actually wrote moving away from trade block to a military block, but the question is opposite. Quad is moving from military block to block. Is it wrong? It's true only, right? Because we are using Quad as a trade block, not as a military block. We never said we are against China. Yes or no? We are using Quad for what? Vaccine Maitri, critical technology, free trade, open trade, rule-based order. Yes or no? Bilateral investments with each and every country is being improved. And we are also using it for humanitarian assistances. So Quad is anything but a military organization. So the trade block concept is more or less true. At the same time, we are doing military exercises. We are not outrightly blocking military activities. We are doing military activities. But AUKUS is clearly a alliance.
Sir, a 2+2 dialogue happened. If we were to put it in 2 or 3 words for that, as students or Indian diaspora in there, what in 2-3 points we want to know?
Information sharing and knowledge transfer. We are exchanging each other's knowledge, right? And most important thing for Quad is we are making it a supply chain alternative. Yes or no? Supply chain resilience. Yes. And Quad is also promoting this critical technology supply chains. Australia, India, and Japan has created something called as supply chain resilience initiative. That is also going to promote trade block. So Quad's intention is always the same. In the same way, what is the significance of Indo-US defense deals over Indo-Russian defense deals, and with reference to stability of Indo-Pacific region?
US is a net security provider. Russia is not. And US has acts like CAATSA sanctions that may affect India.
And our overall trade with US is much higher than our trade with Russia.
Again, how is it relevant to defense deals? See, defense deals, we are to bring the term called as strategic autonomy. What did I tell you? Strategic autonomy. S-400 is a capability that Russia has. S-400 is for land. Along with the Chinese border, if you implement S-400, it will act as a deterrent. When it comes to Indian Ocean, the threat with Indian Ocean is from Chinese maritime threat. Russia do not have a presence in Indian Ocean. So our defense deals with US is more in the lines of torpedoes, drones, UAV, or alternative things. Okay, so US will act as a net security provider. Again, we can go into the depth. What I'm trying to tell you is, it's not something that you don't hear every day on a newspapers. Every day we see that, right? And you have to remember this. The question paper is segregated. In the starting, they have asked about polity, then moved about, then they are asking governance. In the end, they are asking GS paper 2. It's in the same order. Questions are also moving from same direction. Lastly, this is ethics paper. Question number 3A, 3B, 4A, 3A, 3B, 4A. What teachings of Buddha are more relevant today and why? Discuss. 4A. Distinguish between laws and rules. 3A. How many of you can attempt that question? Attempt. Sixth section. 6B. 6A, 6B.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they did not mention what do each of the following quotations mean to you? You. What is happiness according to you? In the same way, what are these quotes meaning to you? You cannot say according to Swami Vivekananda, this is what he meant. So how are you interpreting that quote in your own understanding with examples? See, nobody can prepare you for this kind of shock treatment. Yes or no? You prepare everything and go, but you don't know whether that quote will be used in a context or as per you. You need to have a thought process. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. As Swami Vivekananda says, only those who live for others are living. Yes, exactly, right. So if you are not helping others, or if you are not living for someone, you are not actually living in any way. You are being 100% selfish. Is it a crime? If you live selfishly, is it a crime?
Humanitarian ground.
Be selfish.
Understand the difficulty, right? Yes or no? So that is why whenever we see quotes, use quotes, or say some examples, morality, ethicality, and all these things, we don't know which context we will be forced to use them. So how do you lose yourself in the service of others? Have you ever experienced that? The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. When we serve others, okay, am I finding myself? No. See, I think that is the purest form of selfishness, right?
That's the as we discussed in what counted is seldom counted in that article. That is a consequence.
That's an
That is
outcome.
not. That is not.
But
to fulfill our own business. That
so why are you doing it then? Let's say you are doing charity. Why are you doing charity? Because you feel like doing charity. Okay. Outcome is happiness, satisfaction, and all those things. Okay. So I'm not saying outcome is the reason why you are doing it, but the very intention of doing it is because you like it. Yes or no?
I see a reason. I see a solid reason for for contributing to that.
Exactly, and you feel it good. It's worth cost. So at the end of the day, it is all about me.
Sir, if that me includes the happiness of society, then what's
Wrong with it? Okay, I didn't say it's wrong, right? I just said you are doing it because you like it, and that's the purest form of selfishness.
purest form of selfishness is also.
I didn't say that. See, you are interpreting. I said everybody in the classroom is good except you. You are assuming you are bad. Okay, I didn't say that. It's like synonyms, right? All cats are dogs, or some cats are dogs. I didn't talk about the other half. Yes. Yeah. I hope you are. Motives. Okay, and even if your selfishness is helping the society, there is no wrong in being selfish. You need to have a solid reason for telling whatever you are doing. Are we clear? Yes. So what will you do today? Did I share this PDF with some of you? I gave up this one.
Yes,
Prelims 2022. What are the suggested sources for prelims?
yes, yes.
Yes, please. Restrict. That is where you use examples. Example. See, what is honesty? You can write a 150 word or a 1500 word essay, right? But if you use an example, I found 500 rupees in my doorstep. I gave it back to some temple. That is honesty as per me. So you throw some example and limit the discussion. You get the idea? How many of you have purchased the Disha? Good. Arans, I would have beaten you. Good for all of you. So do two things today. Go through the 2020 mains papers and 2020 paper. Spend some time with your syllabus copy, at least 1 hour. Okay. Then you chart simple path that like what you should be doing till February 15th. Yes or no? Right? Then you show me your own strategy. You write it on a white paper tomorrow or day after tomorrow, whenever is possible. You show me what is your long-term strategy, like from today onwards till February 15th. What is your chart for the journey? Yes or no? See, when we go to Tirupati or any religious place, we plan, right? Tickets are there or not, ID card. So you are going on a very important journey in your life. So if you don't have a plan, how are you making sure that you are going in the right direction? So you do this. You spend some time in chalk out a strategy. Don't blindly follow anyone, even me. If I tell something, if you find it rational, if you find it empirical, only then follow it. Okay, just because Kalyan sir said so, it doesn't become a gospel, right? You have to use your common sense. Will it work for me? Is it commonsensical? Yes or no? Yes, do it. If you still feel, I am my own. I am the captain of my ship. I will sink like Titanic. Okay, right? You are more than free to follow. I am not going to stop you. Yes, yes or no? Yes, clear? Any questions? I will share the question papers PDF with you and 2020 PDF. You let me know. And think about it. It's one of the most important decisions you take. I will tell you last 2 minutes. I won't take much. You are all 23, 24 average, 22, 23, 24. Your peers are joining jobs. Okay. By the time you complete 2 attempts, 20, 25, 26, they will be probably married or they are earning twice or thrice the amount. Yes or no? The opportunity cost is very, they are buying cars, apartments, getting married, and so on and so forth. There will be immense pressure. UPSC good, but you are not progressing. See, he has purchased an apartment. Your cousin is being married. These things will be even with all intentions also, you may or may not be able to withstand such kind of pressure. So first attempt is the best attempt. And in first attempt, your minds are not polluted. Yes or no? You are not trying to be two heroes because you don't know what is a boundary. So if I tell you to read 10 hours a day, you will believe it and read it. Next attempt, you will think, without any reading, I got 90 out of 100. Next time, I will read much more and I will clear UPSC with top rank and all those things. It doesn't like people who came into UPSC before you, stupid, but they have experience now. Experience cannot be replaced. Knowledge can be replaced, but not experience. They are experienced and they are wise. They have already got the slap from UPSC. So they will be smarter, more careful, and more dedicated. So if you are in hostel, you must be seeing Kedar. Yes or no? How many hours he is putting in, how many tests he is solving, how much efforts he is doing, right? So in spite of all these things, he is still little bit scared. Yes or no? It happens. So you should realize he is 1 year more experienced than you, twice hardworking than you, and he is still afraid. So what chances do you have that you will clear the prelims in the first attempt? So you should understand that from day one. And if you set your path very clearly, even if it is paining, the walk will be very easy, or else it will become very, very painful. Understand that one important thing. And cost benefit analysis. You are losing 2 years of your life, 2 years of your youth. If you are losing after age of 70 to 72, nobody is bothered. 24 to 25 is like everything in your life. If you are losing them for nothing, dobi ka kutta na gar ka na gat ka, right? And that means you are not perfect in UPSC, you are not perfect in your life. What did you learn? Nothing. That is the most unproductive usage of your time. Clear? So think about all these things. This journey is more knowledge. This journey is about doing the essential things in the essential time. Timing is everything. So take time, chart it out, write your plan, bring it to me. I will suggest if there are any needs, any changes needed. And what works for you may not work for her. What works for her may not work for him. Everybody will have their own strengths, weaknesses, and journey. What is your single biggest distraction? How many hours are you able to sit? Start with that. Write your wake up times. How many hours are you sleeping on an average? Yes or no? If you are waking at 9 a.m., 7 a.m., you are indisciplined. You need to get that basics right. How many books you have, how many of you them completed, how much time will you take to be completing them. So you chart out everything that you are supposed to do. I'm here to help you. If you don't take my help for whatever reasons, right, the problem is with you, right? I never said no to any one of you. If you have a genuine question, I have always entertained those questions. So you take the help properly and get till interview. Service or not, I believe it's God's decisions or your karma or whatever. But till interview call, it's in human capability. Okay, more serious. And I can guarantee you that if you do all the essential things, interview call is bound to come to you. I'm not promising service. Interview call, I can promise you. If you do the essential things. So many aspirants, I told you, like Pratyush Pandey, that Pradeep Singh, what did they do? They went to one faculty or one guy mentor or one, they believed their suggestions and blindly followed it, and they are in service now. When we smartly use our brain, what will happen? Lack of experience. I started my preparation in 2010. This is 2021. I have 11 years of experience. Okay, if you stand on my shoulders, your experience is 11 years plus 1 month. No, sir, I am my own captain, Titanic. Okay, then what will I do? No, you may still get into the service. I'm not that arrogant that you will clear only with my help. Okay, but you will definitely see UPSC in a much better perspective than most, at least your peers. 2022, some of your friends might have also started UPSC preparation, right? Call and talk to them. Ask them what is ACUS. Okay, if you find their answer is much better than you, then we will end the discussion. If you know much better than them, then you are in the right path. Yes, again, empirical, common sense, test it. Yes. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, right? So I hope you will write it today. Take the time, take an A4 sheet. Which one?
Only when I complete the entire preparation, only when I'm confident enough, then I will give my first attempt. Will this happen anytime?
See,
If I'm not confident, then what will the first attempt? One more year I will work on it.
it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy which will never come true. In the sense, you will always believe next attempt is the best attempt. I will do better in the next time and I will keep on improving. But in reality, unless we don't have an objective deadlines, we won't grow. Okay. I have a simple antidote to the same thought process. That is, even if you fail, you have to fail in the right direction. Okay. Even if you fail, you have to fail in the right direction. That means if you fail prelims, you should fail prelims by 2 or 4 marks. If you may fail mains, you should fail by 20 marks, not more than that. That shows that you are almost there. Next time you will have that motivation to come back stronger. But if you cut off is 100, if you fail by 60, you will have self-doubts.
But as you have said, the first attempt is always the
Best
best.
attempt, yes, definitely.
So,
So how do you I know that my preparation is better? That is what you are trying to tell, right? Indirectly.
no,
How much time is required?
like when will I know that I'm completely confident?
Exactly. That is what I said, right? Objective criteria. Let's say in June 2022, you have prelims. Okay. In May 15th, on May 15th, if you write a full length test of a standard institute, if your score is 110 plus, you are eligible to write prelims that year. On May 15th, just 1 month before the prelims, if you, I will tell you which institute test paper is best that year. Okay. On that day, I will send you a paper like this is a paper. If you score 120 or sorry, 110 plus in this paper, you are actually eligible to write prelims, or else you save your attempt.
Because if you give that attempt, again,
Just like that, it's a waste of attempt, right? It's totally useless.
From this year onwards, they started, they opened a channel to take back your attempt.
Last year also it was there. See,
So,
applying is not equal to attempt. Even if you don't withdraw, it's not an attempt. You have applied, you have not withdrawn, then also it's not an attempt.
previous years, they used to say, if you don't attend prelims, then your attempt is set.
So this time also it's same. In notification, you won't find that. See, the only reason they have given this facility to withdraw your attempt is to save some seats. If you see the UPSC notification, nowhere has they mentioned that if you don't withdraw, it's considered as attempt. Okay, and they won't bring that reform also. It's very difficult because on that day there will be a lot of psychological tension. I decided not to give. Who is UPSC to decide on 10 days before you have to make up your mind? On that day, my health is not supportive. I lost my attempt because of health. I will go to Supreme Court. Yes or no? So a lot of things can happen. While I was on my way to prelims hall, accident happened to me. Is it an attempt? No. Only when I go and sign the OMR sheet, then it is an attempt. Okay. And this was happening from 2017 also. You can check UPSC website. Withdrawal of application was always there, but there are a lot of problems with that. Clear? Yes. So again, see, there is objective criteria for everything. You will know this attempt is your best attempt or not 10 days before prelims only. You will do things, you will get good scores in the mocks. See, some students I will talk after 3 years, 4 years of preparation also, still they are saying, sir, my scores are 80, 85. After 3 years of preparation, still they are only scoring 85. They are young people, first attempt at the age of 21, 22, they are messaging me with scores like 130, 135. That shows that years don't matter in UPSC, whether you are doing the right things or not. The first attempters are doing the right things because they have that discipline. Seniors, they think, you know, we understood everything. So their scores are 85. Whereas people who are dedicated, 120s. So 120 people have all the chance in the world to clear prelims. You might still fail by 1 or 2 marks. Okay, but you have very good chance. Those who are scoring only 80s, they don't have any chance whatsoever. You will know that very easily. At least I will come to know, and I will tell you honestly. Please save your attempt. Okay. So I will give you enough time today to prepare the chart. When we meet next time, give me that, and I will, if there are any changes, I will suggest accordingly. And believe me, we have only the best intention in our heart. We are not here to waste your attempts or time and everything. If I say something, I genuinely tell it because I know the cost of, or I know the regret of losing UPSC. So I will never wish any other person to go through what I have gone through, right? Even if I don't like you, I will still give you the best suggestions, because you should not go through what I have gone through. That's the only thing that I will always do. That much you can count on. Clear? And you can cross check with anyone in the field, from an IAS officer to All India topper. You can cross check with anyone, and if they tell you this is not the best suggestion possible, then we will discuss. Okay, that much I can guarantee. Clear? By the way, today results are supposed to come. The moment results come, don't run to YouTube channels, identify their biodata and all those things. They are also human beings. Okay, it will take time for the reality to unsurface or come out. Clear? Yes. See you all on tomorrow. Okay, please do that and let me know. Sorry? Newspaper we will discuss some other day. Yes, because I think this is more important than the merely reading newspaper. And there is only one article I think is useful. That is disease surveillance, right? See you all. Thank you.